Hello, Mr. President, board members. So, that big shortfall, that was pretty impressive, wasn't it? I have to say. All the service rearrangements that have been getting people lost, and the fare increases that have been costing people a lot more. The Lyft users who have had gigantic fare increases and their boundaries cut so that some people aren't able to access the service. And I have to say, it was pretty awful the impact the shortfall had on the bus riders of the city. I am especially impressed, however, that this was all done by a shortfall that, for the most part, has failed to even exist. I know you've disagreed with a lot of what Jared said, but I have a strict personal policy of agreeing with facts, so it's great to see that things at TriMet aren't nearly as bad as it's been made out to be, for you at least. The tables have turned in two ways now. Things are better for you, but they're worse for us. This also means, however, that we have successfully called out the so-called shortfall out before the cuts were whispered into effect under our voices. As it stands, you have done us and thousands of other writers wrong by ignoring these statements and proceeding with the cuts that would have little to no impact on you as board members. As my hope is that you will consider giving us writers back what is ours, the service you've unnecessarily taken, the value of the transfer that keeps deflating, and the wrongs that your limited research has done us. And I do appreciate what you said about liking the idea of transparency, but it doesn't do any good without the action. I mean, I entertained the idea of not stopping the meeting with the 30-minute a cappella rendition of Fun some nights, but in the end, I did have to take the action of not begging the question, who wants to die alone, all dried out in the desert sun. It's always about the action. Let me find my place. It is great that things are better for you, but it's not for us. In fact, things have been considerably worse. We're everyday people, bus riders. We don't have any golden parachutes or landing pads. We just keep falling into the gravel because there is no sidewalk at many of our stops. In fact, for us, things are getting worse because of what your misfired projections have left us with. We haven't gotten increased service for the increased fare. We don't have reduced fare for the reduced service. For the transit dependent, this is really just another unprecedented, unnecessary kick in the dirt that needs to be resolved. You've never seemed to act upon the fact that you've not been the only ones hit by this recession, and it's hit us as bus drivers a lot harder because every time it hits you, you hit us as well. Things aren't getting better for us either. In fact, for my family, it's getting worse. We've had to move our business to a temporary place, and that's caused financial strain on all of us. I've been trying to job hunt myself, but so far to little avail, particularly because of, I only have like a paragraph left. And I'm not feeling so hot, so to little avail because of my mode of transportation. In fact, if it weren't for the fact that I am in fact autistic and bipolar, I wouldn't have been able to qualify for an Honored Citizens card to make it possible to afford tickets to therapy in a doctor's office, primarily the two only places I can afford to go. You guys get me upset sometimes, but with your rising fares and service cuts, I wouldn't have been able to attend therapy or receive medication, and you would have quite literally driven me crazy. This is how I see things, board members. Really, the goings-on at TriMet don't influence your life because you are not transit dependent, and this is a spot on your resume that it wouldn't be impossible to walk out of without losing everything. Excuse me. I mean, you have to admit, you guys have it pretty good, really good in comparison to myself and other transit dependent riders. Our biggest problem, though, not just you, but as a society, is working for self-satisfaction only. When we're okay, we zone the rest out. But you see, that is how empires fall. People rely on other people. You need to feel motivated to help your customers and your drivers. It needs to bug you that because of what happened, that things aren't going good for them.
Cameron, you about ready to wrap up there?
Yep, don't worry. You need to regret that because you didn't take action and look at things differently through others' eyes. We have to wait in line for 3 minutes a month and demand that you change things because that is our only hope. You need to do the simple human thing, use your able body to keep other humans from having to suffer. Only in unity can mankind survive. We are the pillars that uphold your empire. If you sit comfortably, unconcerned now that you are safe in the castle above, those pillars will crumble and fall, and your empire will collapse onto itself and turn to ruins. And I really hope it doesn't happen. Thank you.